Did not pass. That got recorded. That was on October, did not pass.
We're making a big deal, giving you $125,000 not back in the game. So I don't know.
Together, I'll ask,
All of nobody's. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
welcome everybody, and we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Conover.
Here.
Mr. Leggett.
Here.
Mr. Diamond.
Here.
Mr. McDevitt. Ms. Bramer. Here. Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Driscoll.
Here.
Mrs. Frazier. Here. Mr. Drossy.
Here.
Ms. Hogan. Mr. Dickinson.
Here.
Mr. Merlino.
Here.
Mr. Stroud.
Here.
Mr. Wild.
Here.
Mr. McGowan. Mr. Beatty.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
Ms. Runyon. Chairman Garrity.
Here.
Quorum is established.
First item of business, we'll open up privilege of floor and public comment. Anybody who wish to comment publicly? Emery?
Good morning. So I just wanted to kind of use this few minutes to let everybody know that our app that we've been working on for probably more than 6 months now has finally been published on the Google Play Store and the App Store. So I brought some materials for everyone to download it. We have a QR code on some of our advertisement materials. And basically what this will do for us is if you go to the App Store, if you don't have the QR code, you can search Ready Warren County NY. And that'll get you to the app that you can download on your phones. So one of the biggest things that we were looking to get from this application was to be able to reach people in the county with any type of an alert or emergency notification. And this particular app will also let us geolocate so we can put in by zip code. So not everybody in the county would get something that doesn't necessarily pertain to them. So like in your communities, if you might have a boil water advisory, we can put that out on this application and just to put it in, to people that are in your particular municipalities. So it gives us that ability to kind of specialize in what we put out there. So most of the emergency notifications that you would get from this would be the National Weather Service, any type of FEMA alert, and you can set what levels of alerts you want once you download this. So there's a lot of options with that. So it's really kind of a neat tool. So the other part to this also is it's also an educational tool where we can reach out to people in the community and give them tools for emergency preparedness. Some of the things that are on the app, just to give you some ideas, is we do have the ability, we have a calendar on there and we can put events and training events on the calendar as well. We linked our storm damage reporter app to it. So it's right there on your phone as well in the same location as this particular application. We also got the National Grid outage map. We've linked road closures from the Sheriff's Department to it. We also have the water gauges for the rivers that we have access to. There's also resources on here. When you click on the resources tab, you can look up health centers, you can look up fire departments. And when you click on it, it'll automatically send you a map where those are located. So this particular tool is not only, something good for residents, it's also something good for tourists that might come in the summertime. Maybe campers out in Luzerne where you guys get a lot of storms in the summer. They'll have some information coming to their phones that could help them. So, there's checklists on here. There's help making emergency plans for your family. There's also links directly to the county's website. We have a link to our Facebook and we have a link to New York alerts for people to sign up on that. So it's a pretty robust tool and we've got the ability to do a lot of our own programming on it. So that's what we liked best about it. So I do have, like I said, some literature. I'll put that on the table for you guys to take with you back to your towns. Hopefully, if you've got some bulletin boards or someplace where the public will come in, they can just kind of take it, or they can just snap the QR code off the poster and go from there.
Any questions? Supervisor Cross.
Yeah, just on behalf of all of us, I want to thank Anne Marie and her staff for the progress to make this application a reality. This is really critical to personal and public safety in all of our communities, and I encourage everyone to promote it, but register it and encourage your constituents to register as well. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Any other public comment? Anybody?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, I put it on my phone immediately when you sent the notice out, and I'm already getting the alerts, and I know a lot of people that have already done this, and I think it is a very interesting program. It has a lot of features to it, so kudos to you and the department for moving this
Thank you.
forward.
Thanks.
Supervisor Lake.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just downloaded it and got it going here, and it's nice to see the stream gauges on there, especially Schoon River.
Exactly.
So thank you.
And if you find out that there's things down the road that you would like us to put on there, we've got the ability to link a lot of stuff to it. So we can work with GIS and link things from that as well. So it's definitely a good tool. And I think as of right now, we're probably just over 700 downloads right now. So
Anybody else?
Good stuff.
Okay. Next, declare a public hearing on proposed local law number 2 of 2023 entitled a local law amending and updating section 4 of local law number 9 of 2021. A local law reapportioning the weighted vote of the Warren County Board of Supervisors amongst 20 members. And request the clerk of the board to read the public notice of law.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Warren, New York is considering the adoption of a proposed local law number 2 for the year 2023 entitled a local law amending and updating section 4 of local law number 9 of 2021, a local law reapportioning the weighted vote of the Warren County Board of Supervisors amongst 20 members. The purpose of this proposed local law is to reapportion the weighted vote of the members of the Board of Supervisors in accordance with the approved amendment to the city charter to redefine the 5 boundary divisions of the city of Glens Falls. Notice is further given that pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Board of Supervisors on January 20, 2023, a public hearing will be held by the Board of Supervisors at the Supervisors Rooms located in the Warren County Municipal Center, 1340 State Route 9, Queensbury, New York, on February 3rd, 2023 at 11 a.m., at which time and place all persons interested in the matter of said proposed local law number 2 for the year 2023 will be heard concerning same. A copy of said local law is available for inspection during regular business hours by contacting the clerk of the Board of Supervisors at the above stated address and may be viewed on the Warren County website.
Okay, we'll declare this public hearing open. Any comments from anybody in our bill in the room? Seeing none, I think we have any comments. No. No discussion? Okay, we'll declare this public hearing open. Okay, I'll close the public hearing then. We have no communications.
Nope, no.
Reading a resolution.
You have just the 2 resolutions before you. Those are 50 and 51. We don't have any floor resolutions or anything extra this week.
Any public comment on the 2 resolutions? Supervisor Dime.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to have a roll call on 51.
Sure.
That's it.
Very good. Any other Supervisor Brammer?
Thank you. I do appreciate that we set the special meeting to take care of the Glens Falls weighted voting issue. I'm glad that that's going to be resolved now after today. On 51, my understanding is that Mr. Lamothe will be coming back and working for a few months to help tie up loose ends with the countryside adult home. Just wondering if we can put in there a specific date so that we have something firm as his last day of employment.
County Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe right now, as it looks, the work at Countryside that Mr. Lamothe has been involved with will finish in June. I think that that's probably a reasonable time. That's the time that in discussions with me that he's indicated that he thinks it will be, his work will be finished then too. So at some point prior to that, we'll plan to advertise the position if we intend to continue with this position. And then we'll have a transition before Mr. Lamothe leaves. Thank you.
If you, there is not a specific date. If you want to put a specific date, we'd have to amend the resolution.
I'd make a motion that we amend it to add June 30th.
I'll second that.
Second by anybody, 2023.
Yeah. Thanks, Amanda.
Any discussion? Supervisor Leggett.
Given time on things, what if we did September 1st?
Well, we have a motion and a second, 2023. Are you amending, asking for amendment?
I'd ask for amendment. Yes, I'd ask that'd be through the end of August.
The
Just so
two
the
folks
plan-
that introduced the motion, how do you feel about that?
I'm opposed to that.
I'm.
I
opposed to that.
can't hear you.
I'm opposed to that.
Okay, they're opposed. So do we vote on the first one or what do we do
I
now?
would vote on the first amendment.
Hmm?
I would say you should vote on the first amendment.
We're gonna vote on the first amendment. Does anybody want to, okay, and then if somebody wants to amend it again, we do the same process again. So we're gonna vote on the first, the Supervisor Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman. If we find that in good faith, issues came up and they weren't able to complete by June 30th. Could we come back and give that extension if necessary? I mean, if supplies or whatever, the situation
Yes.
that prevented them. So
Yes.
I would support staying with the June 30th, and if things come up, then we can address it a month or two, three down the road.
We have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Any other further discussion? All those voting in favor of the June
I would do
roll call vote, we'll do a roll call vote on the June
30th.
30th.
Ms. Bramer,
Yes.
Mr. Bruno,
Yes.
Mr. Driscoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Drossy.
Yeah.
Mr. Dickinson,
No.
Mr. Merlino,
No.
Mr. Stroud,
No.
Mr. Wild,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
Abstain.
Mr. Thomas,
No.
Mr. Conover,
No.
Mr. Leggett,
No.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Chairman Garrity.
I'm gonna vote yes.
Okay, that only has 347 votes in favor, so the amendment does fail.
Okay. Now, do we have somebody who wants to make another
August 30 days of September, April, June, and November. 31st, August 31st.
August? We have a motion by Supervisor Leggett to extend or make the cutoff August 31st. Do we have a second? By
Second.
Supervisor Dickinson. Any discussion on that resolution? Supervisor Wild.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure I'm too concerned about the date, whether it's June or August or September. But it is important for planning to continue with the leadership that Wayne has provided over the years and to help complete this project. And if we don't approve this, then we're going to have problems with the staffing that we have to complete this. So I applaud the board to hopefully come up with some type of agreement that we can move forward and approve the continuation of Wayne to complete this project course. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion? Supervisor Bramer.
I don't have anything. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman. So if we do approve August 31st, that doesn't preclude Mr. Lamont to leave the day after it's completed. That could be July, it could be June, it could be sometime in August. So I just want to be clear on that. So.
Okay, to do it. Supervisor Merlino.
Just one more comment. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us have been working with Wayne I've been working with 18 years. And his track record is excellent. And I don't know the exact number, but he has brought into this county $40 million in grants and everything else to help this county move forward. And to knock it back and forth doesn't seem like it's a fair deal. And I think we'll go to August 1st, then you'll get my vote on that.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on August 3rd.
Ms. Bramer,
No.
Mr. Bruno,
No.
Mr. Driscoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Drossy,
Yes.
Mr. Dickinson,
Yes.
Mr. Merlino,
Yes.
Mr. Stroud,
Yeah.
Mr. Wild,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
Abstain.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Conover,
Yes.
Mr. Leggett,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
No.
Chairman Garrity.
Yes.
Okay, that one has 502 votes on the nose, so that passes.
Okay, so it's August 31st.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on a resolution? Okay, let's vote on resolutions.
Okay. Yeah. Resolution 50, enacting local law number 2 of 2023. Ms. Bramer,
Yes.
Mr. Bruno,
Yes.
Mr. Driscoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier.
Yes.
Mr. Drossy,
Yes.
Mr. Dickinson,
Yes.
Mr. Merlino,
Yes.
Mr. Stroud,
Yeah.
Mr. Wild,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
Abstain.
Mr. Thomas.
Yeah.
Mr. Conover.
Yeah.
Mr. Leggett,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Chairman Garrity.
Yes.
Okay, that passes with 626 votes in favor. Resolution 51, appointing Wayne Lamoth as Director of Planning and Community Development as amended to include an August 31st expiration date. Ms. Bramer,
No.
Mr. Bruno,
No.
Mr. Driscoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Drossy,
Yes.
Mr. Dickinson,
Yes.
Mr. Merlino,
Yes.
Mr. Stroud,
Yeah.
Mr. Wild,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
Abstain.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Conover,
Yes.
Mr. Leggett,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
No.
Chairman Garrity.
Yes.
That passes with 502 votes in favor.
Okay. Let's do resolutions. Privilege of floor. Anybody got anything else to add today? Chair. Treasurer Swan.
Morning, everybody. I just want to do a couple quick updates on the governor's budget proposal. The assigned council and the Medicaid, Medicare increases could be a problem for the county. I don't know yet because we haven't seen whether the reimbursements are going to go up yet or not. And that's the big key. One of the other things which is kind of near and dear to me is a proposal to any excess money that we receive for selling a tax foreclosed property would go back to the property owner. I'm not going to debate whether that's good or bad, but if we lose that ability to keep that extra money, that's about $150,000 to $500,000 a year that we would lose in revenue. And even more concerning to me is there would no longer be a funding stream for our environmental testing fund. And this is kind of ironic for me because the first year I was treasurer, I worked with this board and we set up that testing fund and came up with a revenue stream. And now here I am in my last year and it looks like it might be going away. So, but just an FYI, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for privilege? Please, Mr. Merlino. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like the attorney, if I'm not putting him on the spot. I'd like to get a reading of what abstention means. I know what it means, but what is the rules behind abstaining? If he can give me a brief rundown on that.
I'll put together a legal opinion and I'll issue it out to the entire board before the next board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple questions. Have we applied to civil service through New York State for a waiver on this section 211 local law to bring back employees once they've retired from municipalities? I believe that that's a requirement that Wayne would need is a waiver to be able to come back to work for Warren County once he's retired from Warren County.
We can look into
And,
that.
I think you need a waiver to rehire them back into the municipality. According to New York state law, it says that I've got a copy of section 211. You need to receive a waiver for prospective employer. Most requests and receive approval to hire. Waiver covers a fixed period of time up to 2 years. In order to hire them, you have to show a hardship that you cannot find another individual out there qualified for the position. But I mean, if in fact we're gonna bring him back, which we have now, I think we ought to look into that local law with civil service a little deeper to find out if in fact it's necessary to have the waiver through civil service.
Supervisor Grassi?
Disregard.
Would definitely will get you an answer. Also, I have one thing to bring up before we adjourn. Everybody got the calendar. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at it. That's the meeting calendar we're going to go with. And hopefully you can adjust your schedules accordingly. It's been handed out, I believe, to all the supervisors. So, and just a reminder, if the committee chair can't be there, you have a vice chair that can run your committee meetings. Okay. Supervisor Page.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the county attorney, did we get any updates on any lawsuits that may have been settled or anything? I thought I read in Foothills News that a lawsuit was now thrown out and dismissed. Can you give me an update on that?
No offense to the Foothills News, I'm not sure what.
It was I believe it was the Maxim lawsuit against the county about minority and majority positions, and that was thrown out as irrelevant and no.
My understanding is that this board was briefed on that many months ago when it happened. That's not a current.
Well, I thought it was a finalization from the judge saying that it had no bearing and.
Not that I'm aware of. No, that matter resolved.
So the judge threw that out months ago.
Months and months ago, and I believe I had shortly after I had started as county attorney, maybe January, February of last year.
Okay. All right, I thought it was still pending. All right, thanks.
Okay, anything else coming from the board? Okay, I'll ask for adjournment. Motion by Dennis Dixon, second by Supervisor Moreno to adjourn. Thank you.